Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So, let's dive in. Hi there, welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm your host, Leanne, and today we're going to talk about something that isn't really spoken about, which is the unspoken truths about being a single parent. The things that you don't really know about single parenting until you actually become one. So let's talk about the things that are not spoken about. So first things first, really, the biggest thing that you don't realize until you're actually in it is the stigma that comes with being a single parent. Now, not everyone has the same perception of single parents. Not everyone believes this, but you do get your certain group of people that have that impression of single mums. They live off Centrelink and they spend all their money on fake boobs, fake lips, fake lashes, tats, cigarettes and alcohol. So there is that perception out there, which is far from the truth. There may be some women out there that do that, but if there is, it's a small minority. And you see it on group chats and you see it in some single pages and some other groups, and you see memes that go up just about single mums and, you know, what they're doing with their money. And it's maybe they are having a joke, but to me, if they're putting it up there, then there's clearly some sort of intention behind it. You know, if there's no meaning behind it, if they didn't find any truth behind it, then they wouldn't be posting it. They've obviously seen it somewhere and go, oh my God, that's so true, I'm going to share that, you know, and it's a way for them just to kind of stroke their ego to get a few likes on a post, but it's a shit way of doing it. But then on the flip side of it, there is also a stigma when it comes to men. And again, not everyone does this and not all men are like this, but there is that stigma that men, you know, single dads are just the bogan dads, don't pay child support and don't give a fuck about their kids. So it is quite overwhelming that there is that perception out there. Like, you know, single mums are just lazy shit, you know, who live off Centrelink. And then you got the dads who don't give a shit and go off with all their other girlfriends and don't pay child support. So getting over that is the big thing. You know, I used to see all these memes going up and single mums, they don't give a shit. They don't care about working. And, you know, that used to really upset me because I've always had a massive work ethic. I'm huge for working. I don't want to live off any benefits. I want to provide a good future for my daughter, and I want to provide a good work ethic for my daughter, and I want to see that. And, you know, like I've been times when I've dropped my daughter off at school and I've driven past the local public school and you see mums dropping their kids off in their pajamas, and clearly that shows that they're going back home and watching TV. And what values is that teaching the kids? Don't worry about going to school because you can just go home and watch TV and when you grow up. And, you know, what is that teaching the kids? To me, it's you've got to teach them some sort of values and some sort of respect. You know, when you get out into the workforce, do something. Don't just be like, oh, you don't have to work. You can just stay home and live off Centrelink. You know, so kids learn from us. They learn from their parents. And so I'm all about leading by a good example. And for me, living off that stigma standard that's out there of living off Centrelink, that's not what I stand by. So for me, I don't like that. And that's one of the biggest things I had to learn to accept since being a single parent, that you've just got to take it with a grain of salt, because clearly the people who are doing it or saying it are triggered by something else, or maybe their ex was one of those and it triggers them. So they're putting everyone else in that basket. So you got to take it with a grain of salt and realize, you know what, that's their issues, not yours. But the biggest thing when you become a single parent for the first time is just to really accept it for what it is. Now, in my situation, I personally stuck out the relationship with my daughter's father for as long as I could. And it wasn't even a very long relationship. But my parents separated when I was quite young, and so I grew up mainly with my mother, and she was a single mum, and I saw how hard she did it. She did it tough. And I did everything I could to not be a single parent. I refused. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make this relationship work. I'm going to do what I can, because there's no way I'm going to be a single mum, because I've seen what my mum went through, and I'm not putting my daughter through that. I want my daughter to have a nice life. But unfortunately, it got to a point where it was like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I would much rather be a single parent and work my ass off and do what I can than to have to put up with this. So we've just got to learn to accept it for what it is. No one plans to be a single parent. No one grows up in life and, you know, has one of their top goals in life to be a single parent. It's not what anybody wants. It's not what anyone sets out to achieve. And, you know, you don't go into a marriage thinking this is going to end soon. I'm going to be a single mum or single parent in the next 12 months, 18 months down the track. No one wants that. Nobody plans for this. So at the end of the day, it's happened and we've just got to learn to accept it for what it is. And we've just got to learn to take it with a positive outlook. As hard as it is, we've just got to learn to take the positive from the situation and go, you know what, okay, it ended. I didn't want it to end, but clearly there's another direction that I'm meant to be going in my life, and that's why this has happened. So try and look at the positive in the situation and focus on that. And when you learn to accept the positive out of what's just happened, the quicker and easier it is for you to lose the shame or the guilt that comes with either being known as a single parent, or, you know, some people do hold shame or guilt for how the relationship ended. Even if it wasn't them, they may feel bad because they may feel like they let their partner down or something. So the quicker you learn to accept it and work on what is positive in the situation, the quicker it is for you to move on and do something better with your life, because there's no positive that's going to come from dwelling over something that's happened in the past. I'm not saying to completely shut it out. I mean, it's for those that have been in really long-term relationships, it does take time to mourn and get over it. You know, you're not just going to wake up the next day and go, right, I'm going to be super positive, because that's not how it's going to work. Being realistic here. But I'm saying don't sit there and dwell on it 24/7. Oh, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. You know, we're all grown adults here. We don't need to play the poor me card. So we've just got to go, you know what, this has happened and I'm going to get over this in my own time, but I've got to try and focus on where this is going to direct me now and what positive can come from this. Another big wake-up call when you become a single parent for the first time is just to accept realistic expectations. And when I say that is, your life is not the same as what it was. Your finances are probably not the same as what it was. Your schedule is probably not the same as what it was, because you're now taking on all that extra workload and doing everything all on your own. So you've got to embrace those expectations. Be realistic with yourself. Don't just think that you can live and keep doing life the way you did before when you had a partner and think that you can keep doing it on your own, because you're going to wear yourself out. And financially, you're probably not going to be able to do it. You've got to make some cutbacks and you've got to be realistic with where you're at now. You know, there might be times when you just don't have the energy to cook. You've been working all day, you've come home, you don't have somebody to help you. You don't have anyone to set the table or to look after the kids while you're cooking or to put the bins out, or, you know, it's all on you. So there are times when you just want to have a simple maybe 2-minute noodles or cheese on toast or takeaway. That's okay. There's no shame in that. We're all human and we don't constantly run on full tanks. Where there are times when we need to just rest and unwind. Like, you don't have the car going 24/7 on a freeway, do you? No, because it's not good for it. It's like us as parents when we're constantly going. We need to stop and unwind. And having an easy takeaway meal or, you know, a cheap and easy 2-minute noodle meal is totally fine, and that's totally acceptable. So just remember to be kind to yourself. Do what works for you. But I'm just saying, don't be hard on yourself and lower your expectations a little bit. Don't expect to live life at the same standard as you had previously, because you're now got everything all on your shoulders. It's a very different ball game now. So just be kind to yourself. Now, I touched on this next point a bit in the first one about accepting it for what it is. And this one is to worry less about what others think of you. Just remember, nobody knows your full story other than you. You know, there's your story, there's your ex's story, and then there's a story in the middle. So don't ever worry about what people think or if they're judging you. Who cares? You know, that's your true friends are going to understand you and your true friends are going to be there. If you're worried about having people look at you thinking, oh my God, what did she do? Or what did he do? How did their relationship break up? You know, why are they caring? How's their relationship going? Why are they spending so much energy focusing on your relationship? They should be focusing on their own, you know? And instead of gossiping about you, maybe they could come over and offer you some support. So stop putting focus or attention onto what other people think of you. All you need to think about is you and your kids. And as long as you're happy and as long as your kids are happy, then that's all that matters. And don't ever forget, you are freaking amazing. It takes a strong person to leave a toxic relationship. And it takes a strong person to go out there and do this on their own. And it takes a strong person to actually stand up and go, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I'm out. It's not easy. And you're probably going to get those married couples that do look at you and may judge you. But do you know what? Maybe they're judging you because they're back at home in their miserable relationship, too scared to speak up about what they're not liking about it. Because you hear that quite often. You've got those married couples that don't speak about what's going wrong in their relationship. They just keep going with the flow. They just keep rolling along with it because they're too scared to speak up. They're too scared to fix the problem. So maybe that's why they're judging you, because they're like, holy shit, they've done something. They're now actually going to have a better life. They're actually going to do something better, and they're going to find someone that's going to make them happy. I'm stuck here in this miserable relationship, too scared to do anything because I'm worried they're going to get upset at me. So you know what? That's how I think of people who look at you and judge you. So just stay in your lane and focus on making you and your kids happy, and don't worry about what others are thinking or saying of you, because they will be thinking and saying things. But you know what? Who gives a fuck? Another big thing as a single parent, and I have to admit I was too proud to do this, and I probably still am a bit to this day to do this, and that's ask for help. Ask for help. And you know what? When I first split up with my daughter's father, I left him with nothing. I had absolutely nothing but my daughter and a suitcase of clothes. Then that's when I first claimed single parent, and because I didn't even have a car. I sold my car when I was in the relationship with him, and I didn't even have a car when I left him. So I had to get the bus everywhere, and I was too proud to even use that pension card on the bus to get a cheaper fare. For me, that was embarrassing, because I didn't want to be known as that kind of mum. So don't be too proud. You know, if you've got those options there, if you've got those benefits there, make the most of them, you know, and if that's one way of just getting help because you're too scared to ask for it, then make the most of those benefits. There's so many things out there to help single parents. And unfortunately, I didn't know this until recently, how much is out there. And when I first became a single parent, I had no idea. But there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of support, a lot of businesses that do offer things to single parents that are stuck. So, you know, take advantage of those things, whether it be those big companies, and when you're struggling to pay a bill and you're needing financial hardship, a lot of those companies will help you out. If you're struggling with school fees, if you're struggling with food, there's like neighborhood centers that will help you out. There's a lot of places. If you're too scared to ask a friend or family, there are a lot of places around. And the good thing these days, you can put a post up on Facebook and make it anonymous if you don't want to be known. If you're needing extra help, put it out there and make it anonymous. But don't be too scared. If that's the only way you can ask for help, then go for it, do it. Because like I said at the beginning, you're now on your own. And you hear those married couples say, oh, I may as well just be a single parent. Oh, my husband doesn't do anything. Well, you know what? I guarantee you now, if you actually became a single parent, you'd realize how different it is. Okay? Because having a partner at home who may not be fully hands-on with the housework or school kids is very different to being a single parent. I can tell you that now. So once you're in the situation, you are taking on the role of two people, financially, emotionally, mentally, in every way possible. So don't be scared to ask for help, because it is there and it's okay. It's nothing wrong with asking for help, and it's such a big thing in our society to be too proud. I know there's a thing in my family, you know, they're all too proud to ask for help. We'll do it ourselves. We'll sort it out. But it's like, you know what? Why? If the help is there and it's getting offered, accept it. Take it. You're worthy of it. Now, this next one is a big one, and this is one that I really make a conscious effort of doing every day. And this is to have some me time. Have some me time. And I do something every day, whether it's, you know, if depending on my schedule, if I've got some time after I do school drop off to just go to the beach for 10-15 minutes, or I might even get out and have a beach walk in the morning. I might even get to the gym before school pick up. Anything, even if it's just lying on my bed just before I go to sleep and listening to a podcast, or I might just sit down and do a face mask when I'm watching TV. Yeah, I'm one of those ones that does that. Or just anything for yourself that makes you feel better, even if it's just having an extended shower where you don't have to worry about getting out and cooking dinner or doing anything. Take the time to do something for you, even if it's go get your nails done, catch up with your mates for a drink, go play a game of golf. Try and maximize any kid-free time you have and do something to make you feel good. Because I guarantee when you feel good, you're a better parent. You're a happier parent. Because when you're in a shitty headspace, you're going to give that energy off to the kids. If you're feeling shit in your head, you're not going to be all happy and bubbly with your kids. I can guarantee that. They're usually the first ones to cop our shit. When we're in a bad day, they're the ones that cop it. It happened. And vice versa. When they're having a bad day, we cop it. So, that's just part of it, unfortunately. And so you need to step back. You need to unwind. You need to just have some time to yourself to recoup, to re-energize, and just fill your tank up. So don't ever get embarrassed of, people judging you because you've gone out with your girlfriends or your mates and you've gone out for a drink. Because there is that little perception of that as well, thinking, single parents have the best life. They can just go out and go partying and that. Well, you know what? It's not like that. And I never do that. Maybe there are some people that do that when they are on their kid-free weekend. And you know what? They freaking deserve it. We freaking deserve it because we are working twice as hard when we do have the kids every day. So if you're getting people that are going to judge you because you get some kid-free time and you want to go out and have a drink, then you know what? Let them judge away. Let them judge away. Who cares? Go out and enjoy your time because you deserve a break. And if you don't get kid-free time, because there are some people that are full-time carers, then try and do what you can, even if it's when the kids have gone to bed, if it's before they get up in the morning, before you do school pickup. If there's any way you can do something for you, then try and make the most of the time because I guarantee you it'll make you feel the world of difference. Just do it for you and for your kids. The next point, you don't have baggage. You do not have baggage. Just because you're a single parent does not mean you have baggage. But let's be honest, everyone has some sort of baggage in a way. Everyone has got some sort of emotional baggage. At our age, if you're a mature adult, everyone has got shit that they've been through. But just because you're a single parent doesn't mean you have baggage. It's like when you jump on the dating apps and you see people that say, I don't want anyone that's got baggage. Well, fuck off, mate. You're a straight no-go for me. Because to me, when I see someone that says that, they're either one, someone that's got baggage themselves, or two, someone that doesn't like to deal with shit. They just sweep everything under the carpet. So you're like, dude, see you later. So you're not someone that's got baggage just because you're a single parent. If you're someone that's been through shit and got all these problems and you haven't dealt with any of those issues, then yeah, you probably do have baggage. Because you know what? It's normal to go through shit in life. It's normal to have problems arise and it's normal to not know how to handle everything. But it's also normal to sit back and try and handle that and do something about it. So we've all got stuff that we've been through, but we've also got to take time to manage that. But just remember that just because you're a single parent does not mean you're someone that's got baggage and does not mean that you're someone that people will not want to date, because that's not true. Remember when I left my daughter's father and also when I left my ex-husband, happened at both times. And I think it's happened to some other guys that I've dated in between. I've had said to me on a number of occasions, you'll be nothing without me. Fuck off. Do you know what that is? That's their insecurity. But for the first time happened when I broke up with my ex-husband, when he said that, you watch, you'll be nothing without me. And that fucked with my head like you wouldn't believe, because that was about 20 years ago. So I was in my early 20s when this happened. And that was a massive head fuck. I wasn't in the same headspace as I was now. And he made me believe it. He made me think, holy shit, what have I done? Why is this happening? Maybe my life is fucked. Maybe it's over. No, it's not. They just want you to believe that because their ego is hurt. They've been let down. They're not strong enough to want to come and handle a situation or want to do anything better. So they're just going to make you feel like shit. So if someone ever says to you, your life will be nothing without me, just turn around and say, okay, watch. Boom. Your life is not dependent on someone else. Your success is not dependent on an ex-partner of yours. So never let anyone convince you or lead you to believe that you're not worthy of anything good, because I tell you now, you are. Everyone is worthy of their own success and it's succeeding in whatever it is that they want to do. So don't let anyone convince you of otherwise. This last thing, I noticed massively when I became a single parent, your friend groups change. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's nice to connect with people that actually understand and get where you're coming from, because you want advice and support from people that know what it's like. You don't want people who are all loved up in these perfect, Brady Bunch families giving you advice when they've got no idea what it's like because they've never been there. So, your friend groups do change, one, because of that reason, because you want to be around people that you can associate with. And two, I don't know about you, but I had many moments where I felt like I wasn't included to certain events because I was single. Like you'd see all your married friends go out to these events and like, oh, I take it I'm not included in that. Or maybe they just didn't like me, who knows? But you do see that. I did see that a lot. Like my friends, the married couples going out to all these different things and birthdays and stuff. And here I am, I'm like, oh, okay, they're gone out again. So your friend groups do change. But again, might not happen to everyone, but I did see that. But what I'm trying to get at here is connect with single parents that understand you. Connect with people that are going through what you're going through and are supportive of your situation and are understanding. You know, you can meet people through Facebook groups these days, through mum groups, dad groups. There's, all these different walking groups, social groups. There's so many ways to meet people these days. Connect with people that are understanding of you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to brush off your married friends, because you still might have some really good friends that are married and that do offer some great advice, and that's amazing. Don't just throw that in the bin. But I found personally, when I was going through this, I connected better with people that were going through that situation, because my situation was quite toxic. And so I felt like a lot of people who I was speaking to, or a lot of my married friends that I was speaking to, didn't understand it. I felt like they thought my story was a lie, because it was so out there what happened. Like sometimes when I'd say my story, what I actually went through, I used to sit back and go, holy fuck, Leanne, that just sounds like a bit of bullshit, because it was so insane what I went through. And I'm probably not the only one in this boat. There's probably other ones that have been manipulated and gaslighted and been put through all this shit, and you look back on it, it's like, holy fuck, how did that just happen? What just happened? It sounds like a fucking movie. It doesn't sound real, but it is real. And like I said, there were times when I told my story to people and they would just look at me like as if she's talking shit, but no, I wasn't. And in that sense, it is good to speak to people that are going through what you're going through, because I get it. They're like, yeah, I went through the exact same thing. So find your group of people who can understand what you're going through. So that's just a few of the things that you just learn as you go, as you become a single parent. It is quite eye-opening for the first time, dealing with certain stuff. And there is a lot more things to it. There is a lot more factors to being a single parent. But when you become a single parent for the first time, these are some of the things that get raised, and you're like, okay, I wasn't ready for this. And so, these are just a few pointers that you can take on board. So just to run by those things again, just accept it for what it is. It's happened. You've got to accept it. And you're now a single parent, and that's where you're at. And accept it. Embrace realistic expectations. Don't try and take on the job of two people like you're used to. You're a single person doing the job of two people. Wind it back and be realistic with what you can and can't do. Worry less about what others think. Who cares? They're not paying your bills. Focus on you, focus on your kids. That's it. Ask for help. Don't be too proud. Don't be too proud. The help's out there. Ask for it. Me time is a must, guys. It's a must. Focus on you. Do something for you, because I guarantee you now you'll be a better parent and your kids will thank you for it. You do not have baggage. Remember that. You don't have baggage because you're a single parent. You may have baggage because you've got issues that you're choosing not to deal with, but you don't have baggage because you're a single parent. And lastly, connect with people that get what you're going through. Connect with other single parents, okay? They get you, they understand it, and that's just it. Find your people. All right, guys, that's about everything. Share this podcast with all your single friends. Get them on board. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you again, everyone, and I really hope you got something from this, and I'm open to hearing any thoughts and feedback. Love you all, and until next week, I'll be in your ears then. Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.